Hey friends, Cinema Recapped here. Today I will explain to you a 2019 thriller drama film named Parasite. The movie starts in a little semi-basement apartment in Seoul. The Kim family does their competently to survive. Father Ki-taek, mother Chung-suk, daughter Ki-young, and son Ki will work folding pizza boxes for a very low wage and effort to make ends meet. This makes them go as far as using their phones next to the bathroom window to be able to steal Wi-Fi we're keeping there. Windows open for the fumigator's poison smoke to enter the house and get rid of the bugs, even if they end up breathing it too. One evening, they're visited by Min Hayek, a friend of Ki who's that brings them a scholar's rock from his grandfather's collection, meant to be an amulet for wealth. He also brings Ki a work opportunity, since Min Hayek will traveling abroad soon. He wants Ki to take over his tutoring of the daughter of a extremely rich family. Ki has good English knowledge after his years in the military and trying out the university entrance exam 4 times. Ki can just fake his papers to pretend he's a university student since she's good with design programs. And it's not like his employers will stare at them closely. The wife is very simple-minded, so having Min Hayek's recommendation should be enough. Wearing his best clothes and with the forged document in hand, Keith goes to the Park family's house, which is on the fancy part of the city. After being authorized inside by the housekeeper Guk Moon Kwang, he's interviewed by Choi Yin Ikyo, also known as Mrs. Park. Just as predicted, she barely looks at the paperwork and trusts Min Hayek's word. But she wants to sit through the first lesson to check Keith who is a good, proper man. Keith will be teaching the daughter Dai, who starts off as very shy and gets startled when Keith unexpectedly grabs her wrist. But since it's only a gesture to comfort her when she's having a hard time understanding the exercise, she quickly softens up to him. Mrs. Park is happy with what she's seen, so she decides to hire Ki-woo and pay him well. After the first class, he also gets to meet her son, Da-son, who has joined the Scouts and is obsessed with playing Indians. Ki-woo used to be a scout too, so he shows understanding, and when Mrs. Park shows him her son's drawings, Ki-woo gets an idea. He starts talking about Da-son's art as if it was truly a masterpiece, and when Mrs. Park mentions she needs a new art teacher because none of the previous ones lasted more than a month, Keith suggests his cousin's classmate Jessica, a highly qualified art therapist. In truth, he's talking about his sister, who also shows up the next day for an interview while pretending to be this Jessica teacher after just having read some stuff about art therapy and psychology online. While Mrs. Park talks to her, Keith tutors Dai, who is covetous of Keith being friends with the art teacher. Ki assures her he isn't interested in her, then the two of them kiss. Back to Ki-young, she convinces him Park to let her give Da-song his first lesson alone, and by the end of it, she impresses her by exhibiting her how well behaved her son is now. She also shows Mrs. Park signs of trauma on Da-song's paintings, mentioning an incident he went through during first grade. Persuaded her son needs art therapy, employers. Park hires Ki-young under excellent pay. Later that day, she also meets the family father Park Dong-pik, who offers his chauffeur Yoon to drive her home. Yoon insists to take her to her house, but wanting to hide she lives in a poor area to keep up the lie. She asks him to leave her at the train station because she's meeting someone. During that trip, Ki-young gets an idea and takes out her panties to hide them in the car. The Kim family starts eating better thanks to their children's new salaries while planning their next move. Meanwhile, Mr. Park finds the panties in the car and thinks Yoon has been taking lovers in the vehicle. Probably even consuming narcotics as well because no one in their right mind forgets their underwear in a car. When Ki-young leaves after class, Mrs. Park takes the chance to ask her opinion about the driver, so she tells her about how Yoon tried to take her home rather of the station. Mrs. Park decides they'll be firing Yoon under some excuse not to start a scandal, and Ki-young swoops in. saying a mature employee is more trustworthy before recommending her uncle's old driver. Of course, this man turns out to be Kitake, who used to work as a chauffeur when younger. He goes for a test drive with Mr. Park, who is impressed by his good manners and his vast knowledge of the city that doesn't need GPS to reach his location. His driving is so smooth, Mr. Park doesn't even spill his drink when the car turns, so he hires him on the spot. The last part of the plan is the most difficult one. Moon Kwang is a stubborn, cunning woman that has been working in that house since it was owned by a previous family. Ki Hu learns from Dove Hai that peaches are forbidden in the house because Moon Kwang is allergic. So he and Ki Hu start throwing peach fuzz at her when she isn't noticing. Moon Kwang ends up going to the doctor for a checkup since she doesn't believe it to be allergies. And Kitake is there as well as part of the plan. He takes a selfie by making Moon Kwang appear in the background, then shows it to Mrs. Park. While seeing her, he overheard Moon Kwang say she has tuberculosis. At the house, when Moon Kwang begins coughing because of the allergies, he puts some ketchup on the tissues in the trash to make it look like she had coughed up blood. Ashamed to have a sick employee in the house, and liars. Park makes Kitake promise he won't tell her husband about it, then fires Moon Kwang under some excuse, saying Mr. Park she quit. Mr. Park begins to worry about the lack of cooking and cleaning in the house. So Kitake gives him the card of a prestigious agency he almost worked for, giving Mr. Park permission to tell his wife that he got the idea. This agency apparently provides families with trustworthy employees, but in truth, it's another ruse by the Kims. The phone on the card is a second number Ki-young got for this, and when Mrs. Park calls, she pretends to be a secretary asking for lots of official paperwork. Ultimately, Chung-suk is hired as the new housekeeper, and the whole Kim family is in. Da-sung notices they all smell the same, but they realize it isn't the soap, it's the smell of their old cheap apartment. One day, the Parks leave on a camping trip and leave Chung-suk taking care of the house, so as soon as they're gone, the whole Kim family comes over to stay for a while. They use all the rooms, eat all the food, drink the costly wines. And Ki-fu even steals Dove Hai's diary to read it because he wants to propose to her when she gets into the university. The Kims spend their dinner fantasizing about what marrying into a rich family would be like while a storm rages outside, when unexpectedly, someone rings the doorbell. It's Moon Kwang, who claims she forgot something in the basement when she was fired and left in a hurry. While her family hides, Chung-suk lets her in, but Moon Kwang is taking too long down there. So Chung-suk goes to see what is going on. She discovers Moon Kwang trying to move a cupboard, so she helps her, revealing a door behind it that takes them to an underground bunker created by the architect and previous homeowner. Moon Kwang's husband, Oh Gyun-se, has been living there for years. Hiding from loan sharks, Moon Kwang boosted him move there when the previous owner left and the house was waiting to be sold, and the Parks never learned about the bunker. Moon Kwang would go down there and sneak in some food for him when the Parks weren't looking, which explains why Mr. Park thought she ate too much. She came today because she knew the Parks would be gone. So she expected to talk to Chung-suk alone to ask for permission for her husband to still live down there, even being willing to pay her for bringing him food. Chung-suk refuses to accept this and takes out her phone to call the police, but at that moment, her family slips off the stairs while trying to spy on them. Moon Kwang wastes no time and records them with her phone, capturing on camera the fact they call each other family names. Now Moon Kwang and her husband have control of the situation, threatening to tell the Parks of their ruse if the Kims don't do as they say. They all go upstairs, where the Kims are made to crouch in a corner while Moon Kwang and Gyun-se enjoy the home. Moon Kwang even calls them out for being pigs and making a mess in the living room, because when she and her husband used the house when the Parks were gone, they would always be respectful of the architect's artful touch. While she's giving them such a speech, the Kims take the opportunity to tackle the couch and wrestle the couple on the ground for the phone. Ki-taek grabs Gyun-se and Ki-young drops a bunch of peaches on Moon-kwon to knock her out while Ki-woo takes the phone to delete the recording. Unexpectedly, everyone freezes when they hear the house's phone ring. Chung-suk picks it up and is shocked to hear Mars Park asking her to get dinner ready because they're coming back earlier since the storm made it difficult to keep up a camping trip. As soon as she hangs up, the entire family jumps into action. Chung-suk begins cooking. Ki-taek takes Gyun-se to the basement and ties him up. Ki-young hides the trash under the furniture. And after taking an unconscious Moon-kwon to the basement, Ki-woo goes upstairs to return the diary. The Parks return right at that moment, so Ki-woo hides under Dai-hye's bed and Ki-young rolls under the table. Moon-kwon wakes up and tries to escape, but Chung-suk thrusts her back into the basement, making her fall and hit her head. Ki-taek drags her unconscious body to where her husband is hitting his head against the light switches while attending a Morse code guide he's pinned on the wall. Since Da-song is a scout, he hopes he will see his message one day. But Ki-taek finds the idea ridiculous before tying him up to a pipe and leaving. Upstairs, while having dinner in Mars, Park tells Chung-suk about Da-song's traumatic first-grade experience. One night, the boy sneaked into the kitchen to steal his birthday cake and saw a ghost coming from the basement, who was certainly Gyun-se. This caused him to have convulsions and foam at the mouth. And this is why he's been going to therapy since then, and they're never home for his birthday. Meanwhile, Ki-woo is almost found under the bed by Da-hye, but luckily, she picks up her dog and doesn't look further under the bed. After the Park couple goes to their bedroom, Ki-woo and Ki-taek sneak out into the living room to find Ki-young in order to leave, but unexpectedly, Da-song yells and comes downstairs, so the three of them end up hiding under the table. It turns out Da-song wants to camp out in the garden under the rain, and his parents let him, deciding to sleep on the couch to keep an eye on him. Now the Kims must listen to the Parks complain about their smell and get frisky with each other. When the couple is eventually deeply asleep, the Kims get out of the house and run under the rain towards their neighborhood, which is getting flooded with sewer water. Their apartment is flooded as well, so they retrieve as numerous belongings as they can before leaving to spend the night in a local gymnasium that opens their doors to poor people that have lost their homes to the storm. Ki-woo has brought the Scholar's Rock with him, and he hugs it while he sleeps because he's upset to hear his dad doesn't have a plan to deal with the problem they left in the basement. Back in the bunker, Moon-kwon dies from the collision she got earlier, and Gyun-se tries to send a Morse code message with the lights asking for help. Da-song sees it and deciphers it, but it's nonsense. Gyun-se isn't in his right mind to spell correctly and only ends up with a bloody forehead. The following day, Mrs. Park decides to throw an impromptu party for Da-song's birthday, and the Kims must put up their best peaceful faces even when they're really feeling devastated after losing their home. Chung-suk must cook and prepare the tables outside. Ki-taek must drive the parents around to buy all the party supplies while they keep making faces at his smell. And the siblings must put up their smart teacher personas since they're invited to. The party has very crucial guests. During the party, Mr. Park and Ki-taek dress up as Indians because they're planning to make a whole act for Da-sun to save his cake. After spending some time with Da-hye, Ki-woo takes the Scholar's Rock and goes down to the basement, where he's jumped on by Gyun-se, who somehow has organized to free himself. After stopping him from fleeing with a cord around Ki-woo's neck, Gyun-se knocks him out with the rock, then leaves the bunker, grabbing a knife from the kitchen on his way to the garden party. Seeking to avenge Moon-kwon, Gyun-se runs out and stabs Ki-young. Da-song starts having a seizure as soon as he sees him, while Da-hye finds Ki-woo's body and carries him out to ask for help. Ki-taek goes to check on her daughter, trying to keep a hand on her wand to stop it from bleeding, while Chung-suk jumps on Gyun-se and kills him with a barbecue skewer. Mr. Park doesn't care about any of his employees. He just wants to take his son to the hospital. So he demands Keatek to drive him. But Keatek doesn't want to leave his family behind, so he throws the keys at him so he can drive himself. The keys fall on the grass, and at that moment, Gyun-se falls on top of them. Mr. Park goes to retrieve them, but even during such a deadly emergency, he covers his nose while moving the body. Enraged by such a horrible act, Keatek takes the knife and kills Mr. Park before fleeing the scene. Weeks later, Ki-woo wakes up from brain surgery. The injury and the procedure have left his mind in a delicate state, so he can't help laughing through all the things that proceed to occur to him, finding out his sister is dead and his father is missing, getting arrested, being put on trial for fraud, being allowed to leave on probation because of the traumatic incident that they aren't charged for because it was on self-defense. He only stops laughing when he sees the news report recording the now vacant house, making everything that happened feel more real. Neither he nor his mother knows where his father is, but the detectives keep on tailing them for a while, thinking they may take them to him. Months later, after the news eventually moved on onto other subjects and the cops don't follow them anymore, Ki-woo goes up the mountain and spies on the Park's house, which is now occupied by a German family that bought it because they didn't know its history. There, Ki-woo understands someone is using the lights to send a message in Morse code. It's his dad, who all this time has been hiding in the house bunker. He has buried Moon-gwang in the backyard and survives by raiding the kitchen every night. He also sends the Morse messages every day, hoping his son would see them one day. Back in his old apartment he still shares with his mother, Ki-woo writes a letter for his dad, promising to work hard and get sufficient money to one day buy the house and reunite with him. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my various videos, and if you love it, please burst the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification horn. Take sight of you in the next video.